What is the process to buy a home? Today I'd like to share with you the buyer's roadmap. I created the buyer's roadmap to help you, the buyer, break down the process step by step of purchasing a home. The first step in purchasing your home is meeting with a realtor. That would be me. After we have set up a buyer consultation, which is usually about 45 minutes to an hour at the most, we're going to go over the process. During this first meeting, we're going to talk about how to protect you, the buyer, when buying a home. We have brochures that we're going to review that are given to us by the Georgia Board of Realtors. And we're going to go over some paperwork that we're going to sign saying that we're working together. After we do that, we're going to go over your wish list or your criteria for buying a home. This will be based upon your needs. If you're looking for a certain size of a home, do you want a 2-story versus ranch, square footage? Do you want 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms? How many bathrooms? Are you looking for a large yard, a pool, those kind of things? Once we have your criteria picked out, we're going to go over your expectations. When is a good time for you to look at property? When do you want to be in your home? Are you currently renting and you have to get out of your lease? We're going to break down that, and I'm going to explain to you the process and how that works. So after we've done this, we're going to meet with the lender. Step 2 is meeting with the lender. That's a very important step. This relationship with your lender is probably one of the most important relationships that you'll have during this process, besides working with your realtor, of course. The lender is going to remind you, hey, don't purchase anything like a car, appliances, or furniture right before you close on your property. It can affect your credit score. So if you need to buy something which is of high value, you need to call your lender and make sure that's okay. Your lender is going to give you a pre-approval letter, which I will use to send in with an offer that you make on your home. This pre-approval letter will tell the potential seller what type of loan you're doing, your interest rate, and that you're qualified to buy a home. That letter is good for 90 days. So if we're looking beyond 90 days, we'll have to get a new one every 90 days, and that's fine. You just ask the lender for that. So that's step 2. Step 3 is searching for your home. So as soon as we have determined your criteria, we're going to start looking. We're going to look online. You're going to look at the emails that I send you through a system called MLS or Navica. I'll set you up to receive emails hourly. As soon as a new listing hits the market, you will get a notification within an hour that this listing is new. You're going to let me know if you'd like to look at the property, and then I will make sure we schedule that and go look at it. Another way that you can search for property is through my mobile app. You can easily download my KW mobile app to search for properties as well. Of course, you can go to open houses. Usually they're on Sundays, sometimes Saturdays. If you do go to an open house, please let the listing agent know that you are working with a realtor. You have a realtor. You just need to make sure they're aware of that if you do go to open houses. So that's the process of looking for a home. You can look online, you can look on Zillow, you can look on realtor.com as well. And please send me a list of the homes that you'd like to see. You can text me, you can email me. Usually what happens is as soon as you get that email saying, hey, this is new to the market, you're going to text me or email me. This is the house I want to see today. And I'll call and set it up and we'll go view the property. Okay, so that's step 3, searching for a home. Step 4 is making an offer. This process can be overwhelming, but have no worries. I'm going to walk you through every step of the way. During our first meeting, the buyer consultation, I will have reviewed with you some of the things that we need to talk about when we submit the offer, such as your due diligence period that you'd like. That is an option period for you to do your inspections. How much money you need in closing costs. That's your lender. That's a lender question. So these are things that we can talk about ahead of time. So when you're ready to make your offer, the process is simple. When we submit the offer, the listing agent will present it to the seller. They can send it back and accept it, which would be great news, or they can counter it. If they counter back, we have the opportunity to accept their counter or to counter back as well. And I will guide you through this entire process. Once we have an accepted contract and we're binded, that's great. Then we start getting a little bit busier as far as what we're going to do. And that's step 5. After you're under contract, you're under a binded contract, we're going to start working on things like setting up the home inspection. That is money that you're going to pay out of your pocket up front. It's usually between $300 to $500 based upon how many inspections you want. Do you just want a regular inspection? Do you want HVAC inspection? Do you want a roof inspection? And I will go over those things with you in detail. Once the home inspection is done, we'll get the report back. We will ask for the repairs that are most concerning to you. We will put those in a document called an amendment to address concerns, and we will send it to the listing agent, who will present it to the seller and ask the seller to fix the items that we're requesting. The seller can say yes, the seller can say no, the seller can agree to fix just a few items, and then you'll have an opportunity to review that and decide if you want to go forward. Once you've made that decision to go forward after the home inspection, the lender will order the appraisal. The appraiser will go out to the home and make sure the value's there and that you're paying for the house what it's actually worth. The appraiser will make sure the value's there. If there's any required repairs that the appraiser notices, he will write that up, and that will be part of his report. Once the report is back, the lender will let you know and share that with you. That's something that we do not share with the seller or the listing agent. That's something that you will know. You'll know the value of the property. That's a risk. If you order the appraisal and it doesn't come in at value, we ask the seller to reduce the price. The seller can say yes or no, and I would not recommend that you bring the difference to the table. So that's an opportunity for you to think about that. Most likely the seller will reduce the property's price, not always, and then if not, then you can walk away. That's a risk. You could spend the $400 or $450 for the appraisal, and that's something that you're not going to get back later. So your risks are your home inspection money and your appraisal money. I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. It's really important that you understand that you're putting this money up front. And you also will be dropping off earnest money. In the contract, we will agree to give usually $1,000 earnest money up front. You will get that credited back to you at the closing. The earnest money will be delivered to the holder of the earnest money, whether it's the attorney or the listing broker or the selling broker. It doesn't really matter. It depends on what we've agreed in the contract to do. The next step after this is step 6, before the closing. I will make sure that the home warranty is ordered if we agreed to one in the contract. I will make sure the termite letter has been ordered and delivered to the closing attorney and to the lender as well. I will follow up with the lender, with the attorney, and make sure they have all documentation they need for the closing. And that's step 6. Step 7 is the best part, the closing. That's when you go to the closing table, you sign your documents, you receive keys to your new home. After that, you move in, you go home, you start unpacking. At the closing, you will need to bring an identification, usually a driver's license, military ID, at least one form of identification. If you have two, great, but one will be okay. You'll get your keys to the closing table. At the closing, you will sit on one side and the seller will sit on the other side. The attorney sits at the head of the table. I will sit next to you and the listing agent will sit next to the seller. And sometimes the lender comes as well. So we will make sure that you understand what you're signing. It usually takes about an hour and a half for your closing. So that is step 7. That is it. It's pretty simple. I am Regina Wadsworth with the Wadsworth Team with Keller Realty Augusta Partners. I'd love to work with you with purchasing your home. You can call me or anyone on my team. Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from you. And don't forget, click below for the free Buyer's Roadmap. Please give us a call at 706-414-1570